Hey guys, it's M4J here, and welcome back to my Stevenage FC career here on Football Manager 2018. Before we get into the episode proper, there's two things I want to talk about. The first of which is a reference to last episode, the Bristol City game that we had. I did record footage from it. I went back and looked at the footage when I was editing, and all the video footage seemed to be okay when I looked at it first. But then when I was editing the video, I mean I've explained this in the last video anyway, but when I was editing the video, the footage and the audio didn't line up, and I think the footage ended about 5 minutes before the audio did. Like I say, I explain it a bit more last episode, so if you want to check out what the problem was, there's the place to go. But that was quite annoying, because although we lost it, we actually did quite well in the Bristol City game, really, compared to how we were expected to play. The second thing I wanted to say is real life news. I'm not particularly a fan of this decision. I always think a manager should be given the chance to turn things around, particularly when the team isn't in any real trouble. And I always think it takes a year or two for a manager to actually build the squad that they actually want. If you look at Jurgen Klopp at Liverpool, first season he didn't exactly set the world alight. Last season also not great. They scored a lot of goals, but they also let in a lot of goals. This season, however, they're genuine contenders for second place. You know, if they keep performing the way they're performing, they're beating the big teams. I think they actually have a chance of beating Man City in the Champions League. By the time this episode comes out, though, that might have already happened. So I've either predicted the future or I've made myself look like an idiot. Either way, it sort of proves my point that it takes time to actually build up the squad that you want. Unfortunately, Darren Sarll has been sacked by Stevenage. I'm recording this on the Monday the 19th of March. Sarll was sacked yesterday, so on the 18th. So it's a bit sad. We had two games, one against Crewe and one against Port Vale, where both games we were 2-0 up with sort of 20 minutes to go, and both games ended 2-2. So I can I'm trying to see it from both sides. That's the thing. I'm trying to see it from both sides. In many ways it's harsh, but also in many ways maybe a change is necessary. Sarll did the difficult transition job. So we had Graham Wesley as manager. We let him go at the end of his contract after he got us to the playoffs, which was a season after he got us relegated. So I wasn't too upset to see him leave. Then we brought in Teddy Sheringham, kind of an experiment. It was to try and raise gate figures, but also, I mean, give the man some credit. He wanted to get into management, and he didn't just do the Ryan Giggs of sit there and wait for a big job and then claim you deserve it because you used to play for Man United. He actually went down a few levels and started at the bottom. Unfortunately for him, it didn't work out. Sarll came in as caretaker manager till the end of that particular season. Did a pretty good job. Got promoted to manager full time. Brought a load of youth players into the first team. I think all but one of our matches this season have had at least one youth academy graduate in the squad or on the bench. That's quite something. That's, you know, for a little club like Stevenage in Hertfordshire with, you know, gate receipts of, well, attendances, of 2,000, 2,500, to have that kind of level from the youth team is quite impressive. Mainly in part to Sarll when he was head of the youth academy, but also down to Robbie O'Keefe as well, who's continued the good job. So I'm contemplating sending in my CV. No, not really. That's a stupid idea. I mean, some people have tried it, actually. Some people have actually... I think there was one person who got a job off his football manager experience. I wouldn't have the first clue where to begin if I was to be given a job of that magnitude, particularly at this transitional period. I'm just hoping Wesley doesn't come back, because as of today, Barnet have sacked him. Dino Mamria is the favourite. I wouldn't mind seeing him. He used to be our assistant manager. He also used to play as a striker for us, so he's Stevenage through and through. Anyway, let's not talk about that, because there's loads of people who watch this that aren't actually that interested in Stevenage. The other thing that I said I was going to do was show you the highlights of the Bristol City game at the start of this episode. I always forget how you view the match. Or even if I can view the match. There's a way of doing it. I'm sure there is. I don't want to view the match report. I want to view the match. Like the highlights. And I can't even Google it because everything's moved. Is it here? Oh, don't tell me I can't watch it. Dooby-dooby-dooby-doo. Maybe I should have saved it at the time. But then I didn't know at the time. So, how could I have known? Alright then, I'll try and talk you through it. So we actually took the lead. Joe Martin. Maybe I can do it here actually. I'm sure there used to be a way you could watch matches back. There we go, view highlights. Key. That's probably not what I wanted to do actually. I think I wanted to do goals, not key. I can change that. Here we go. That's a convoluted way of doing it. We actually had 6,700 people watching this game, which is quite impressive. Pitch. And then I want to change this to goals. Alright, so this should be the first goal. It was De Silva on the ball. He passed it out wide to Martin, who I thought was going to cross it. And in the end, he sort of hit some cross-come shot type thing, and it ended up in the bottom corner. Now, it didn't come up. I did come up saying he never meant it. It didn't the first time. That's quite weird. This was the equaliser. Now, this is where I realised that my tactics needed changing for set pieces, because we had one man back on his own, and that clearly isn't good enough when you're playing against a championship team. So Ryan Seeger, who I actually saw play against Stevenage for Yeovil a couple of weeks ago in real life, he got the second, and then he played a part in the third as well. So it was Eliasson here with the cross, Juric with the header, and it went in. So it wasn't the worst game we've ever played. It was actually quite close. I mean, you saw there, all the goals were scored before half time. Let me check that actually. Were all the goals scored before half time? Ah, just after half time. Oh yeah, of course, because opposite ends. So you know, we were in it. We were in it for quite a long period of time. We could have won it. We could have come back into it as well. But yeah, that was the last episode. That was the last bit of last episode. And as you can see, since then, we have absolutely dominated in the league. Now, I know what people will think. People will think there was some kind of save reload thing going on. I will hold my hands up now and say that I have never done that. In this series, I have never saved the game and then reloaded if I've lost. Evidently, you can see that by... I mean, down here we lost against Bristol Rovers, which ended our unbeaten run. Before that, we were absolutely on fire. But all of these are genuine results. Genuine results. Actually, that being said, I think there was one or two. I've said this in the Journeyman series as well. When I watch the matches in full match highlights, and then I have to go off and do something, so I leave my room for a bit. When I come back, if the game sat on half-time or full-time for too long, it does crash. So, again, in the interest of honesty, there were a couple of times where... I'm trying to remember which matches it was. I think the Crew game was one of them. Where I had already won, but not by the scoreline that you're seeing here. So this is because the game crashed. I think the Crew game I won 2-1, and it certainly wasn't a Barnby hat-trick. In fact, was it the Crew game? No, I think I remember Barnby scoring his hat-trick in that game. It's one of these games where I won either 2-1 or 3-1. Might have been the Newport game, where I won 3-1, and then the game crashed when I came back. So I had to reload, and then I holiday the game again, so I don't have to play it twice. So that has happened. So if I do go on the thing, it might say that I've holidayed over matches, which, you know, I'll be honest and I'll admit to that. But I've never done it when there's been a defeat. Or if there has been a defeat, I will do it holiday over and over again until I lose again. Just so that the number of goals scored might be different, but the result remains the same. Otherwise, what's the point if you just cheat? There's no point in cheating. I hate cheaters. Anyway, some highlights. This game here against Walsall was pretty good. And what's really good is Josh Hancock, our young striker, who is going to play in this game actually. We are going to play 2 games in this episode, don't worry. He is on fire this season. 10 goals in 21 games, 8 assists, 5 Man of the Match awards, and he's averaging a 7.44. He is unbelievably good. He's got a finishing of 15, which most definitely helps. I'm actually playing him as an attacking midfielder, which isn't even his best position. He's keeping Kennedy out of the team. That's how good he is. If I go into this, we're playing Crawley away in the first game of this episode. Got some new players to introduce you to as well, actually. The main one being Jordan Houghton here, who I believe is Chris Houghton's son. He's actually got himself suspended, which is a bit annoying. The reason he was in the team is because De Silva got himself suspended. But as you can see, it's a level playing field once more. I can't put him in. I'll put Conlon on the bench. Poor Carl Scott. He had such a good debut for Chelsea in the... was it the FA Cup? I think it was the FA Cup. Quite recently. Which made me even more encouraged by the fact I managed to get him in on loan. But because of the loan player rules, and there are other players I'd rather have in the team, particularly key players like Collie and James, where I've got no real other options in those two positions, it has meant that he's missed out a lot of matches this season. Anyone else that's new? I think that's it, actually. As you can see, the player ratings is really, really good. At least 3 stars all the way across the board, including Hancock, who's still only 17, by the way. 17 years old. Look at those stats. For a 17-year-old who's come through my youth academy as well. I didn't even sign him as a youth player. He has come through my youth academy. Goes to show. Invest in youth. Don't just go out and sign all the best players all the time. Invest in your youth team, because you'll be amazed how many gems you can unearth if you do that. Alright, are we playing in our home kit? That'd be really dumb if we are as well. That's really dumb. Our away kit's blue, for Christ's sake. Why can't we play blue against red? Anyway. The other thing I forgot to mention is we're 17 points clear at the top of the table. Even though we lost to Bristol Rovers, who I believe had been relegated. They must have been, because they're in League One in real life. So they must have been relegated last season. I imagine they've still got a pretty good, decent squad. I never actually looked at it. So that's the only blip in an otherwise perfect season. You might have also noticed on the schedules there was something called the Jeffreys Cup. I was playing a lot of friendlies. I'm in a lucky position as well, where I'm getting lots of players called up for international duty, which does increase the risk of injuries. And in fact, 1 or 2 players did pick up an injury a little bit earlier on in the season from that. But it means the majority of my squad get a week off. But I don't like players having a week off, because they're more susceptible to injury when they come back. Oh, Godden, good goal. So I was arranging loads of mid-season friendlies, and one of them I thought, why not just do a little friendly competition? So I managed to get Huddersfield involved. I think I got a team from abroad involved. It might have been Antwerp. I can't remember now. And I think it was another League 1 or 2 club that I got involved. We came second. We won our semi-final. We lost in the final to Huddersfield. So, I mean, I'm not too upset by that. It's Huddersfield, for Christ's sake. They're a pretty good team. But it kept the players fit. And I think that's one of the things that's kept the momentum going in this season as well, is the fact that we've kept players fit, we've kept them active, even when they've had weeks off. With no competitive fixtures, I've still played friendlies. And I don't just play friendlies on the Saturday, I play Tuesday, Saturday, Tuesday. So they're always in a run of games. Which towards the end of the season might come back and bite me in the backside. Because, you know, players do have a burnout level. And eventually when they hit that threshold, they start getting injuries and they start getting fatigue and things like that. My position on that is I'll cross that bridge when I come to it. Because right now, what do I want here? Action zones. No, I've got action zones. Something I want here. Focus of attacks. Or shots. Yeah, have shots. Why not? I need to get play ratings back up. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, injuries and stuff. You never know. By the end of the season, because we got the youth intake. Not soon, but towards the end of the season there's the youth intake. So you never know. There might be a couple of players there that I can give some first team opportunities to. Plus, if we wrap the league up early, then injuries won't be a problem anyway, because I'll just be rotating the squad between now and the end of the season. Anyway, so no, it's not the worst case scenario. Oh, that's a massive mistake by Jack King. Oh dear, that's our captain as well. That's a huge mistake. That's their first shot as well. First shot of the game and they score. So it was Vincent Young who had the ball. He crosses it in. King actually does really well to head it away the first time around, but then there he just completely misses it. It looked like James tried to clear it and it came off Verhate and went in. Okay, we're not losing. That's the main thing. I was a little bit concerned that after the Bristol Rovers game we could go on a bad run of form, but so far, well, there you go, back in the lead again. So far we seem to be handling it quite well. I mean, one defeat in, I think it was 17 competitive fixtures was pretty good. I have no idea why everyone's standing on the goal line for that free kick, but I'm really glad that I chose for Beautyman to stand on the edge of the box like that. That's awesome. Alright, Smith. I believe that's Jimmy Smith, formerly of Stevenage. Pickard. Vincent Young. He's crossed it in. Cox at the back post. Good tackle, James. Not the best clearance in the world, but I suppose he's got it away from danger. Reckford with the ball back forward. Martin thumps it clear. Godden is chasing that down. Connolly brings it down. Passes it back to Morris in goal. He lobs it forward. Colley with the header up but not away. Cox with the ball forward. Great interception again by Martin, and that's a beautiful pass actually to Godden. Can he finish it? Oh, keeper then post. Unlucky. He has already scored today, so I won't hold that against him. But we could do with taking these chances, because it looks like Crawley might have another goal in them, unless we can find a way to shut them out. That's not a great pass by Hancock. He's actually playing a 6.4 today after me bigging him up. I've got to stop bigging up players, because every time I do they play a mare. Alright, Barnby, great ball to the back post. Samuel, oh dear. Their keeper's having a nightmare as well. I think even Beautyman's goal, I wasn't expecting it to go in. It looked like a mistake from the defender or the keeper maybe. But this one, good touch from Smith. Beautyman actually with a good interception there. Barnby with the cross. And it looked like Samuel was trying to control that. Certainly wouldn't have classed that as a shot on target. And I'm not really sure why the game allowed him to run through not one but two sides of the net there. And I think he ran through the right hand post as well, which is good to see. I mean, I know you get adrenaline bursts when you score goals, but I didn't think you'd have enough to actually run through a post. Anyway, Smith to Pickard. Good pass around the corner. Vincent Young is actually doing quite well on that right hand side for Crawley. Oh, crossbar hit there as well. Colley gets it away. End of highlight. I might have to keep an eye on Vincent Young. Maybe get Barnby to follow his runs. We'll have to see about that. Hancock is not playing well today. I have an option there though. That's what I love about this squad as well. It's versatile. With Hancock, I can either sub him off and just put Kennedy on as a second striker, or my preferred option is to move Hancock up front alongside Godden, which does sort of put Godden a bit more on a leash, but if two strikers who are in form are up front, the opposition defence is always panicking, and then you end up in a situation where either the strikers are scoring the goals like they're expected to, or they're putting the defence in such a tizzy that a midfielder can sneak forward and score a goal as well. It's a very good position to be in, and the fact that we are 19 points clear at the top of the table now means I can afford a little bit to experiment with tactics. I mean, you don't want to do it too much because it can end up backfiring on you. Tell you what, I'm lucky Cox isn't taller. That was not good marking again by Joe Martin. Excuse me. Alright, Samuel. Poor pass by him, but he does get it back. Oh, that's a bit of a lunge. That's a bit of a lunge. I'd expect to see at least a yellow for that. He's injured himself as well, I think. Yep, he's gone down 4 times now, ref. I think he's faking it. Oh, and he's been sent off. So they're going to stretch him off the pitch. I think that's a bit harsh. I mean, it didn't look like a massive lunge. Alright. Well, since they're now down to 10, I probably can afford to do this. So you're going to play as a target man, which might sound weird, but he can play it. And then Godden as the advanced forward. Hancock has actually gone back up to a 6.5 now, which isn't all that bad. Samuel's had a shot off target in the last 5 minutes, and that's about it. There's a very loud whirring noise coming from one of my devices. I'm trying to work out if it's my desktop or my Xbox. Either way, it's loud, and I should probably open a window to let some fresh air in. Anyway, I'll do that later. Don't just worry about it right now. Smith on the ball. Little melee with Samuel, but he does get it away. Cox back to Christy Davis. Long ball forward. Easy for our defence to handle. Fryer goes for the first time pass. Good pick out actually. Finds Samuel quite nicely. Interesting idea of a pass. Samuel and Barmby, they frustrate the hell out of me because on their day they are unplayable. They are absolute beasts, the pair of them. But then when they play badly, they play really badly. Oof. That was a good effort from Barmby actually, that first one. That was a very good effort. I could have easily gone in. But yeah, they play very badly when they're not on form, and it does bring the whole team down. So it's kind of good to see that they're both sort of with it today. Samuel's playing a 9 because he scored. I think if he hadn't have got the goal, he'd probably be playing a 7.8 or something like that. And Barmby, who got the assist for Samuel's goal, is playing a 7.9, which sounds a bit more... Well, he's gone up to an 8 now. Sounds a bit more realistic to me. I'm going to make some subs to waste some time. Hancock off, Nicotia on. Conlon on for De Silva. And we'll bring Franks on, because he doesn't play very often. We'll bring him on for Samuel. Both Franks don't play very often, actually. I feel a bit for Jonathan, because I genuinely brought him in to play on that right-hand side. But then Samuel played so well at the start of the season. Because I think at the end of last season, I was pretty much resigned to losing Samuel. Either selling him, because he didn't finish the season that well, or a big team coming in for him because of how he started last season. In the end, neither of those things happened, so he stayed. But I'd already made the mistake of bringing in Jonathan Franks. And there you go. So that's what ended up happening. That's what ended up happening there. Now normally I'd put a cut in here, and I would come back for the next game. But I'm going to come through all of this because we're nearly in January, and I have got some transfer stuff that's sort of happening. Let's praise Samuel. He's still only 23. He was amazing in that last game. I have still got some transfer stuff to take care of. The main out, actually, which I forgot to mention, was Dan Newton. He's actually left on loan. I'm a bit upset for him, really, because in real life, he's our best player at the moment. In the game, not so much. So he's gone out on loan to Gateshead. He's not played at all for me this season. 24 goals in 43 games last season, though, which is pretty good. It's just not quite happened for him this season. Mainly because, you know, I switched to the one up front. Nicotia came back and he's doing really well, and Hancock as well. So we've got Godden, Hancock and Nicotia as our 3 strikers. And then as the fourth backup option, I've still got Amiobi in the squad. And normally, if I go for like target man play, then Amiobi's the obvious choice. Right, Barmby is also playing well. He's doing really well, actually. Was he 2.5 star, 3 star when we brought him in? He's still 3 star here, 3.5 star potential. Got a good reputation. I mean, look at these stats: finishing 11, dribbling 15, crossing 12. They're all going down, which is a little concerning. But he's been amazing for us. 5 goals last season, 20 goals in 21 games this season. Just amazingly good. Amazingly good. Really happy to have him. One of the things I was looking for, I'm not sure when the numbers are released, but players whose contracts expire in 6 months' time. I think it'll be in January when that comes out, because it'll be January. 6 months is 1st of July, so I believe that's when it happens. But yeah, I'm looking to see who I can pick up on free transfers at the end of the season. Money isn't great. Wage budget, we're actually under by a considerable amount. 2,900 a week. Was 3,000 just now. Something's changed. But the transfer budget, because I released some players. I'm trying to remember who. Zach Whitbread, I think I released. Nyatanga, I released. So there are contract termination fees that we had to pay, which does mean that, you know, we are now behind in terms of the transfer budget. But yeah, apart from little things like that, I mean, it's money. We could do with some money. We are in the semi-finals, I think, of the Checker Trade Trophy, which is good. Who are you? I don't remember offering that. Must have been the head of youth. Yeah, head of youth. And we get a lot of money for doing well in the Checker Trade. So hopefully, if we get into the final of that, end up at Wembley, that should pay off a large amount of our debt. We are 600,000 in debt, 550,000 in debt. Gate receipts each month is about 100,000. Wages is 145,000 though. Prize money has been pretty good this month, and TV revenue, of course, is always a big amount. So wages is definitely something we're going to have to cut down on, be it players or staff. Matchday expenses is also quite high, I noticed. But, we'll deal with that some other time. Right, James Ferry is about to play against us. How good is he now? Still not good enough. I mean, De Silva and King. Actually, that's the other thing. There's been a couple of matches where I had a midfielder shortage before I brought in Houghton. So I was actually playing Jack King as the central midfielder, with Fraser Franks playing at centre-back. Which was very interesting to do that, because he's actually really, really good as a midfielder. I knew he has played midfield in the past. When I was on his Wikipedia page a little while ago, I think it... well, actually, I know it did. It said his favourite position is centre-back, which is why he plays at centre-back. But, save the game really quickly. He's actually a really good midfielder. And not just a ball-winning midfielder. He was playing as a box-to-box midfielder. He's not very good as a deep-line playmaker, but he's really good at box-to-box. So, I think it was 2 games he played in midfield. Or 1.5, because I think it was halfway through a game where there was an injury in midfield. So I had to bring the midfielder off, brought Franks on, and then swapped King and Franks so that King was playing in centre midfield. So yeah, I'm quite impressed. Quite impressed by that. Doing well. Doing very well. Right, same again, lads. Same again, please. Really happy with this squad. My Mitra Kuka squad. I'm being aware that I'm not talking about spoilers at the moment. My Mitra Kuka squad is a very good squad. I still think my favourite squad was the Queen's University squad, because there was about 12 of them, and they all worked so hard to win that league title. Yeah, I can say that, because I think I'm trying to remember the timelines. I'm sure we've won the title at this point. If not, then oops. Spoiler alert. Yeah, I'm in this debate mode at the moment where I'm trying to decide what my favourite squad is on Football Manager 2018. This team is very, very good, but I still think my Queen's University team just about edge it, and Mitra Kuka is a very close second as well. I mean all three of them are good squads. Can't deny that. They've all done well in their own different ways as well. However, my Llandudno team, pile of garbage, couldn't win a single game. It was awful. I've never been sacked that early into a season before. That goes to show. I mean, it was my fault as well. I played the wrong tactics, obviously. Welsh football seems to have a different setup to the rest of the world. But the players certainly weren't helping themselves. And this game's awful. Where's the highlights? We've had 6 shots. 3 on target. And we're nearly at half time. This is not going well. You see what I mean about Barnby? He's playing a 6.4 today. Hancock is 6.3. They're both playing 6.3s now. Might have to do some jigging around at half time. Let's see. Tactics. Gonna move Hancock up alongside. Right, your job is to roam, move, tackle, mark, shoot less, more risk. And your job is to shoot less, run wide, more risk. Okay. See if we have better luck in this half. It could just be that Dagenham are doing a really good job of holding us, but is it Dagenham near the bottom? Yeah, they're 23rd. We should not be drawing 0-0 with the team 23rd in the league when we're top. That's poor form, to say the least. Here we go, an actual highlight. James with the throw to Godden, back to James. He whips in the cross. Hancock with the shot, offside. I knew straight away offside. But still, it was a chance. We had a chance. The new tactic might already be working. That's a real whipped ball by James. If Hancock had just held his run a little bit longer, that would have been a perfect goal. It is the sign of champions. If you sneak a game sort of 1-0, something like that, it is the sign of champions. I'm going to demand more from them. Here is Hancock on the ball. Plays it round the corner beautifully to Beautyman. Ball over the top. Godden's header. Good save. Right, I'm going to issue a shout. I'm also going to bring Kennedy on for Barmby, who's not having the best game of his Steamage career today. So we're going to demand more from the team. 12 shots now, 8 on target, 13 shots. So we've had more shots on target than they've had shots, which is good, apart from the fact the only stat that really counts is the score. Good play, Hancock. Good ball, Hancock. Good volley, Samuel. Get in. 1-0. Yes. There you go. Small tactical change. Demand a bit more from them. Make a sub. That was really good desire from Hancock to not just win the ball, but get it into the box as well. Poor throw from Martin, mind. Look at that. Great challenge. Whipped cross. Good play, Samuel. Great play, Samuel, actually. Did really well to hold off the defender there. It's the mark of champions when you manage to scrape a game. I've already said that, but there you go. Right. Nketiah on for Godden. Anyone else? Yeah, Mason on for Martin, who's not playing particularly well today either. A 6.3. It's not very good, particularly when it's a defender and you're trying to hold on to a lead. Right, 10 minutes to go. Looking good. Colley with the free kick to Kennedy. He's dumped the ball forward. That's a really good ball, actually. Nketiah with the shot. Good save, keeper. Good save. Probably should have scored from that position, but there you go. Good save anyway. Hancock with the corner. It's weird that our target man is also the one who takes set pieces. I have changed set piece takers recently, so I guess he's just got the better stat. Beautyman. Interesting pass. Great pass by Samuel. Nketiah deflected. Took all the power out of it. That's a shame. Right, just under 2 minutes to go, plus injury time. Beautyman's ball in. Headed clear. Ferrier on the ball. Is it Ferrier or Ferrier? Can never tell. Mason should get that quite comfortably, although he's jogging. Bit complacent there. We'll tell them to concentrate. Right, good play, Colley. Good pass as well. Hancock. Great ball into the channel for Nketiah to run onto. He's got 4 in the box. He's crossed it in towards Hancock. Oh, just couldn't get the power in the header. Then that ball needed more whip on it. It was too high. Bit floaty. Right, James throws to De Silva. Crowded out a little bit there. Samuel gets it back. Finds De Silva. Oof, nearly lost it there. Nketiah with the ball through. Kennedy runs onto it. Is he going to shoot? He is. 2-0. Game over. That's probably the hardest fought victory you've had this season. I mean, it's not over yet. I shouldn't talk about it like it's over just yet, because stranger things have happened. But I really felt like the team have had to fight for this result. We've made our own mistakes as well. That pass from De Silva, for example, put Beautyman in a tight spot, and we nearly lost the ball were it not for Nketiah's determination to win it back. It's one of these results I'll look back on at the end of the season and say that's probably the one that won us the league. There you go, 2-0 full time. The clean sheet is always important. Always important. No exceptions. Martin, I'm glad I brought him off. 5 mistakes. One of them could have easily led to the goal. Nukatia actually got our best performer, despite the fact he only came on as a sub late in the second half. He didn't play a part. No, he wasn't on the pitch for the first goal, was he? But he certainly played a part in the second goal. He won man of the match. I mean, that's all you need to know, really. He won man of the match. Really good performance from him. And the team as a whole. Really good performance in the end. Like I say, I'll look back on that match and say that's probably the one where we won the league. We're still 19 points clear. We've got another team in the bottom coming up. Yeah, Carlisle, who are 24th. So we've played second bottom, now we're playing bottom. And then we've got 3 more matches here. And then the next episode will be Southampton at home in the FA Cup third round. And then Fleetwood away in the Checkatrade Trophy North third round. So we're not in the semi-finals yet. I thought we were. I don't know what I got that confused with. We're also in the north for some reason. I know it's done geographically and sometimes it changes depending on who went up and who went down. But, you know, no wonder our expenses are so high. There must be something here. Yeah, travel costs. 4,000 a month. 5,000 a month, really, if you round it up. And we've got to go up to Fleetwood and back to play in a competition designed so that you play in your regions. Hey, anyway, I'm not going to moan too much about that because, as I say, there is a structure behind it and it does all make sense when you look at the structure. I'm going to end the episode here, guys. So like I say, next time when we come back, it will be Southampton and then Fleetwood. The big games. The big games. I mean, the Southampton game is the biggest game we'll play this season. No doubt. So, certainly a lot to look forward to there. Until then, though, thank you very much, guys, for watching. Don't forget to leave a like if you enjoyed the video, and of course if you enjoyed the series. Drop some comments down below with ideas for tactics, transfers, staff additions, all that kind of thing. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, be sure to hit the subscribe button. If you have already subscribed to the channel, thank you guys for your continued support. And until next time, I will see you soon.